followers, and welcome back to another Red Hunya review as we continue on with Basher and Biter-thon. I say that just because this is the 5th Basher and Biter figure I'm going to be reviewing here in a row, and we'll be continuing this tomorrow, finishing it off with the Chomping Jaw Basher and Biter Tyrannosaurus Rex right there. So let's get this going. It's pretty standard Jurassic World packaging for this Pachycephalosaurus from what we've seen so far. Pachycephalosaurus, bashing attack. It's got the T-Rex up in the corner, the Jurassic World logo again, Pachycephalosaurus on the side. Here's the back, just saying it's a fantasy scene. There's a shot of the figure. Authentic Jurassic World seal, Universal Hasbro. And can you guess what this is going to say? Pachycephalosaurus, a ferocious fight for survival. I feel like they kind of got a little lazy. I mean, they could have put some kind of a cool read-up here for a Pachycephalosaurus instead of just saying, a ferocious fight for survival, copy and paste, 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 copy and paste. Not a huge deal though, it's just the packaging, so I guess I'm beating a dead horse when it comes to that, so it's not a huge deal, but here's the figure on the back, looking pretty alright. Nothing on the bottom. But like all the other Basher and Biter figures, you can test his action feature out before you buy him. So yeah, if you guys give me a sec, I'll cut him out of the package here and we can get a closer look at him. So if you guessed right, there's 2 pieces holding him in, just like all the other Basher and Biter figures. Slightly a bit harder to cut these on these figures because it's so close to that. So do be careful when trying to cut these wires that you don't accidentally hit the figure. So here we have the Jurassic World Basher and Biter Pachycephalosaurus out of the package, sporting mostly a yellow with a creamy underbottom and just black stripes around down his entire backside, and he has a white dome piece with a few little white horns up here. 4 visible screw holes on this figure, up at the top of the head, 2, 3 by the arm, and then the last one down here by the tail. As always, screw holes don't really bug me because they're not on the front side, the display side, they're on the back, so it's not a complete killer, but they definitely do kind of annoy me a little bit. Perhaps you too. Either way, this figure's got a considerable amount of detail for a Basher and Biter figure. I mean, he's got all these little lumps and bumps on his entire body coming up here, even up his way to the head. The Jurassic World logo on his leg, the JN, Jurassic no, just kidding. Pretty disappointing on this figure. I know on the Ankylosaurus and Stegoceratops in the background, they also forgot to paint the toe claws, or the claws, whatever you want to call it. But on the Allosaurus we just looked at, and the Spino in the background, you can see they painted the finger claws and the toe claws, so it's kind of strange that on this herbivore dinosaur, just like the other 2 herbivores, they left the claws painted out. I mean, hell, I even think the T-Rex has painted claws. Yes, the T-Rex even has painted toe claws, but not hand claws. Whatever. Perhaps me just nitpicking, but I feel like that's kind of just lazy not painting the toe claws. Not a huge killer though, but even up here with the hands. Not a huge killer, but posability is pretty limited. You can move the hands up and down. Not really much. Doesn't offer a whole lot. Same with the legs. You can move the legs, but doesn't really offer much because the way the legs are, to get them to stand, you need to kind of have them flat like so. It's not a bad looking Pachycephalosaurus. Now maybe it's just the Pachycephalosaurus I got in the store, but the paint job up here on the head looks kind of shoddy. And what I mean by that, it just it looks very messy and sloppy up here on the dome. I'm not sure if it's going to come through on the camera, but yeah, you can kind of like see. And over here on this side, it just looks like really messy, and I don't know, perhaps it's just me nitpicking, but kind of weird too, his beak isn't painted either. I feel like that should have been black or gray or something, but his beak's not painted. Or his mouth, whatever. Beak, mouth, whatever you wish to call it. But action feature is like all the other Basher and Biter figures. So you push the tail up and down and his head pops out in a head ramming action, almost like the Ankylosaurus and Stegoceratops figure we've already reviewed. It's alright, but nothing really special here. Left and right turns the head a little bit. Doesn't really offer much though, so it's just like That's it. The dynamic pose on this doesn't really work that much because just the way it is, it's like a head ramming action, so it's kind of like the head ramming action like that doesn't really need to have his left and right feature like so. It's kind of like moving his head like, what? Like he's confused. What? And then bam, 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 bam. So, and of course, how could we forget the horrible dino damage, extremely lazy dino damage right there that can't be covered up, and it's always visible on the figure. You can see a few pieces of his ribs painted in there. But pretty weak dino damage like all the other Basher and Biter figures, but did you guys really expect anything different on this guy? If I rated the Jurassic World Basher and Biter Pachycephalosaurus, as much as I wanted to like this figure, for some reason, I don't know, I don't. I wanted to, but I don't really like this figure. Maybe that's just because I'd prefer my Lost World Ramhead over this guy, but as another Basher and Biter figure, as always, he's not terrible, but could have been improved a lot, or I feel like this figure still kind of needed somewhat work. But if I rated him, he probably falls in the range of just a 2. Nothing special for the Basher and Biter line, but if you like Pachy's or another herbivore in your collection, or if you just like collecting the Jurassic World stuff, give the Pachycephalosaurus a look, because he's not, like all the other Basher and Biter figures, he's not terrible, but I don't know, another lame attack option, lazy paint job, lazy dino damage, just a lot of laziness on this figure. I feel like it's nothing really special. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Jurassic World Basher and Biter Pachycephalosaurus. There's not really much else to say, or that I know to say or talk about or go over on this figure. There's not really much to talk about. It's pretty linear for a Basher and Biter figure. I mean, a lot of stuff you guys should already come to know or to expect for a Basher and Biter figure, at least anyway. He just has his somewhat posable parts and his tail, which most of the Basher and Biter figures is what you use to use their action. And I wish his action was better, but it's a pretty lame head ramming action like Stegoceratops, so it's nothing to rave about. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this, and if you want more Jurassic World and Jurassic Park toy reviews. I'll be continuing on with Basher and Biter-thon. Tomorrow, Saturday, I will be reviewing the Chomping Tyrannosaurus Basher and Biter figure. And there will also be another review this weekend too, after the T-Rex Basher and Biter figure. So, stick around here, keep checking back, and thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it, everyone. So, I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, take care, and I hope you all have a great weekend.